Welcome back to the Psychology of Getting into Shape. This is episode 2. I have a special guest who pre-recorded some answers that I sent him because I consider his feedback very important. And without further ado, this is David Rosales.
Well, hello to my very good friend, Luke Jackson.
That's me.
Buddy, you've been there for me anytime I've had a question or needed help with anything. So the least I could do was simply record myself and answer the questions that you sent me. So the first question that was sent is, what is your main motivation for being a beast?
And I want you to think about that. When you have the drive and you put in the effort day in and day out and every day, and it's a hunger that you have, I would consider you a beast. What do you consider to be a beast? And you could, just highly motivated could be that, but I say beast because it's a cooler word.
Beast. Now, what is my main motivation? Well, here's the thing. Let's define beast first, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because to me, I feel like the definition of beast, first of all, stems from a lot of emotion and action taken by one person. So, for instance, I know you're asking this for a fitness perspective. So let me say this, that fitness, a lot of people use different emotions. Sometimes people have fun. Some people, it's a party. You know, you have the Zumbas or the high energy aerobics class. I always encourage people to be active. Now, me personally, I prefer some pumping some iron, all right? Some
Same.
strength training. So with that comes with a lot of emotion. I get very irritable. I do not want to be disturbed. I would prefer not to be disturbed.
I want to hit on that. I am exactly the same. I work out in a basement right now alone because I don't want to be disturbed. I want to get at it. I want to focus. I want to get into this zone where I don't have to deal with anything. It's a relationship between me and the weights, and that's all I want to do. And I don't want to talk about it. I just want to be about it when I'm lifting. A lot of people will, like he said, do Zumba or whatever, and they're more group orientated towards that type of fitness, which is totally cool. I advocate healthy lifestyle in general. Doesn't matter what you do as long as you're happy and healthy. And I'm happiest when I'm just angry at the weights. Does that make sense?
These are like the dark side of, of a person. I use it and channel it to assist me in my workouts when things get tough, when things hurt, when I can no longer move. I tap into this dark side. I listen to very emotional, aggressive music.
Same.
So what keeps me motivated to be a beast? It's all I know, and it's all I know that'll keep me sane. Honestly, this is how. I was first doing this for me. I was doing this for myself. I needed an outlet, a way to express emotion in a very controlled manner. And strength training, did that for me. And bodybuilding just happened to be a byproduct of that. Question number 2: what did you psychologically do to maintain a fit lifestyle? Now, that's an excellent question. Now,
by psychologically, what process do you take in your brain that gets you out of bed every morning or every night or wherever, however you work out? What do you do to trigger the get at it mentality? And I know this answer, and if you have any excuses for not doing it, he's about to shut you down.
Give you I know exactly what the answer is to this, and that is, it's my curse. I unfortunately was born with multiple heart issues. I had heart surgery when I was 2 years old. So before I could remember anything, I had heart surgery. Since then, I've had multiple checkups with the cardiologist and stuff. Minimum one visit to the cardiologist in addition to my primary care doctor every year until I was 20 years. And they were always very intense meetings. They didn't know if I was going to need surgery down the road. And to this day, I still have some minor issues with my heart. So,
jeez. To this day, he has issues with his heart, people, and he still professionally bodybuilds and wins. You got no excuses.
I became very health conscious because I was very conscious of my mortality at a very young age. I remember my mom praying over me, crying, just, you know, that somehow, some way I wouldn't need to go into surgery, that there was a lot of unknowns for some time from my parents.
Jeez.
So I grew up with very protective, overprotective, I could argue at times, of parents, but I can't blame them. I looking back at it, I see exactly what it was for. So I remember from a very young age looking at my doctor and asking him, what can I do to live a long, healthy life? And I remember
Mm-hmm.
his answer was very clear that you need to be healthy. You need to, exercise. You need to eat healthy. So my mortality was I was conscious, like I was aware of it at a very early age, for better or worse. So I take nothing for granted, and that's clearly my uh it's how I maintain, like, this is how I look at my decisions. So it's a very, yes or no. Should I do this? Yes or no. And it was very from a very young age. If I knew, I didn't know much then, but I knew like some things were not healthy and that had to be a no.
The man has heart issues, people. So I don't care if you got a bum knee, your elbow hurts. There's no excuse to not live healthy. The only excuse is that we're lazy and we don't want to put work in. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I've 100% fallen into that. I fell into that for the last, 5-6 years until now. So it's not something that doesn't happen to all of us. I'm just saying there's no real excuse. I'm just saying.
So psychologically, that's how I'm wired. This is my curse, and this is why it was hard for me to like witness people who made unhealthy decisions, because all I could see was it was clear as day and night. But
Mm-hmm.
all right, and finally, the third question you have for me is, what keeps you disciplined on the journey? Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, first of all, to talk about my journey, I want to share, I guess, what that.
All right, before he shares, what keeps us disciplined? My motivation is quite literally, I had a 6-pack, I want that shit back. Period. That's like, I see pictures of myself, I see the videos I make when I'm working out. I do not like the shape of my body right now. Period. Like, it's a vain thing. Like, do I care that I'm not like super healthy? I couldn't run 10 miles right now. I don't really care. What I do care is the vanity of it, that I want to be able to run the 10 miles and have my old body back. I was happier with my old body, just straight up. There other people are gonna have different reasons. Like David, he has to work out. His heart needs it. He also has a passion for it, and I just think that we all have to find that trigger, that thing that finally makes us go crazy enough to get up at 4:30 in the morning, or to run after we had a long day at work. Whatever it is that you do for exercise. We have to click into something mentally for that motivation. What is it?
That journey is, what that looks like for those who don't know. I have a few hats, and honestly, it is tough if you want to aim for a few goals, but you have to, first of all, narrow your decisions down to what means the most to you. Now, for me, I just recently became a pro natural bodybuilder competitor. So those doors have just opened for me. I've been competing for years. So months ago, I would say, a year ago, I decided I had to do something for bodybuilding because it's what I love. And I was tired of competing
Mm-hmm.
and not winning.
So listen, he's been bodybuilding since I've known him. He finally clicked into a whole nother level with training other people. He's a trainer, but he clicked into a whole nother level to want to win. What's your next level? What are you gonna click into?
So I had to be focused more than ever. I was like a deranged person. Like this had to
Deranged.
I no longer wanted people to associate me with being a bodybuilder. I wanted people to associate me with being a bodybuilding champion.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to update my resume. This had to. I couldn't like I went years without winning a show, and finally this was my obsession to for a year focus nothing about winning this competition. And it was just my competitive drive to be better, um, to according to my standards. So for me, if I wanted to be considered a bodybuilder, I wanted to, elevate the
Mm-hmm.
level of body competition that I was doing. And then I am a very happy personal trainer. I love what I do. Now, for many years, I've been doing personal training on the side,
Mm-hmm.
but I decided to get narrow because I've been offered money, some serious money, money that I've like had been never been offered before for me to work out of people's gyms. And, I really had to see that like people really were finally starting to notice the value in like the hard work that I was doing around my.
So let me get this right. The man gets offers to make more money than he had in the past and chose instead to get his own stuff because he finally saw his worth
Personal
here.
training on the side. So I decided, you know what? If people were willing to bet this much money on me, it's time for me to
He
actually
bet on
build
himself.
something for myself. So I this pandemic was like a gift and a curse as much of as many of you guys know. And I wanted to make this side thing something sustainable. So I became focused on growing the business. I've working with multiple clients now. I have a great clientele base and growing. I can service clients through an app. I make things convenient. I put in the hours to be accessible and to be
Mm-hmm.
they would provide the best amount of content
Put work in.
through an app where people can have custom made workouts and stuff. So I've been focused because if others were willing to pay such money for me, I have to. This means I'm clearly undervalued,
Mm-hmm.
and I in according to my standards, I had to raise some standards. But anyways, long-winded answer. So I'm very focused in my personal training business. I am focused now even more so as a bodybuilder. So
Awesome. Mm-hmm.
when I break down what I want to do and I break down like what it takes, I understand the long road and it's a marathon, not a sprint. So
Amen.
motivation will come and go, but discipline is what's going to carry you to the end line.
Motivation will come and go, but discipline will carry you to the finish line. Get that right. Focus on those words. What do they mean for you? It's a long journey. It is. It's a lifestyle choice. Let's do that. Let's get into that lifestyle choice. You got to click into it though. That's why we're doing this video. That's why I'm here. Helping you and me at the same time to click in and be more like David.
Let me tell you what, being disciplined is tough because there are definitely going to be days where you're just not going to want to wake up. You'd rather hit the snooze button.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes your body
Every
says
day.
no because it slept through the alarm. You know, it's going to take a while for your body, your mind to train to get in these new habits. Okay. So anytime you set something, the discipline is knowing that you're going to take on those hard days. You have to
Mm-hmm.
buy in early that it's not always going to be rainbows and sunshine.
Mm-hmm.
On the days where it snows 2 feet, on the days that it is so cold, the days you just don't want to because you didn't sleep well.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the days you got to pull up and you got to show up. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Yeah,
I
man.
believe these are the 3 questions sent by my good friend Luke Jackson.
That's me.
I will be happy to answer any questions that anyone has,
Hit us up in the
somebody wants
comments.
to know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. You can ask about the Buzz Lightyear if you're watching this. behind me that's sitting on my wall.
Whatever.
But Luke,
He's open.
it was an honor to come on your side, see all your listeners to hear me answer these questions. I appreciate you again. This is David Rosales, and you can find me on all social media platforms. Okay, I will give
I will
Luke
link
the
those.
links for those of you guys who did give a damn, and for those of you guys who just don't like what I had to say, you can comment, and I'd like to know what you think too.
Yep.
But anyways, Luke, you take care, buddy. I love you.
Love you too, David. So, the man, to recap, he is an NASM certified personal trainer. He is a professional bodybuilder. He has heart issues, and he gets at it. And he's running his own business. Right? All those things. He wears many hats, and he still shows up. And what psychologically, like, he had no choice to show up. His heart was going to fail. What are you going to show up with? My belly's making me show up. I don't want my fat ass belly. Period. What is your motivation? That's the whole point of this thing. Everybody has their own story. Everybody has their own motivations. What's yours? Let's figure it out. Join me next time. Bye.